Hello, I'm back from Tokyo. It was a really fun trip. Very, very different from Matsue. First of all, obviously Tokyo has much taller buildings than Matsue does. Matsue's architecture is more, the traditional Japanese architecture, and Tokyo is urban, and there are lots of skyscrapers and things like that. But one of the main differences that really stuck out was there are so many foreigners in Tokyo in comparison to Matsue. In Matsue, when you step outside, to go to the grocery store or whatever, you're going to be stared at if you're a foreigner. People here just aren't used to seeing foreigners, so sometimes you kind of feel like you're an alien, or, a zoo animal that people are staring at or something. It's actually rather uncomfortable at times if you're not someone who's, who likes attention. And I'm one of those people who kind of like to step back, and I don't want people to really notice me that much, but you just can't help being noticed if you're a foreigner in Matsue. It seems like I tend to be stared at more if I wear my hair down here. My hair is very long, so I think that maybe a lot of people think I look kind of like an anime character. Sometimes I'll see parents kind of tapping their child on the shoulder and pointing at me. They're like, "Oh, look, there's a gaijin over there." And sometimes Mike and I will hear people say, "Oh, gaijin desu ne." Oh, there's a foreigner, isn't there? But in Tokyo, you're just another foreigner there. Tokyo's probably the place where most tourists go, and most people want to live in Tokyo because there's a lot of things to do there. It was funny, our hotel was pretty close to Roppongi, so we walked there, and there was a sports bar that, people could sit or on the outside or the inside, and there were just all these foreigners there, and it was seriously more foreigners in that one bar than Mike and I have seen this whole time in Matsue. So that was so strange. We got to Tokyo Station just fine. We had to take 2 trains. One was just a normal JR train, and then we took the Shinkansen, or the bullet train, to Tokyo Station. Once we got to Tokyo Station, we were supposed to figure out how to get to our hotel. I had 2 sets of directions with different directions, so I wasn't sure which one I was going to end up following. But we tried to, find whatever trains we were supposed to take, and Tokyo Station is just so big. Washington State, most of America, does not have the complex train systems like places like London or Tokyo. So Mike and I are not familiar with trains at all. One thing that was nice was there were so many people coming up to try to help us. We probably had about 6 or 7 people just notice that we were kind of lost, and they came and offered us help. Most of them assumed that we needed help because we didn't speak Japanese, which isn't really the case because Mike knows Japanese, but we kind of just let them think that we didn't know Japanese because, we had been up since 3:30 in the morning, so we're not gonna be on top of our game. But we just really didn't know what to do with the trains. And almost every single person that came up had different directions to our hotel, so that most of it wasn't that helpful. But there was a girl who came up, and she was really nice. She said she was from Washington, D.C., and she finally told us, "Oh, you want to go to this station?" And she showed us on the map where that was. And we finally got there, and then we walked from there to our hotel, and we finally found it, but it took a really long time. But if you are going to Tokyo as a foreigner, just know that if you're ever lost, just look at a map and look really confused, and someone's going to come up and help you. In Matsue, that's not really the case because, for one, there are far fewer people in Matsue, and out of those people, there are far fewer people who speak English, and even if they do speak a little English, they're usually much too afraid to approach a foreigner and help them. Something I did notice is some of the people in Tokyo weren't quite as friendly as like the workers in Matsue, such as employees at a convenience stores. We went into one in Tokyo, and they, like, most of them didn't even greet us. You know, in Matsue, when you walk in, they're always like, "Irashaimase," you know, welcome. And we didn't get that from everyone in Tokyo, which is understandable. It's a big city, so I can see why they wouldn't. Also, I did hear some kind of rude things from foreigners in Tokyo. For example, we had to wait in a very long line to buy tickets for a train to Odaiba Park to see the giant Gundam there. And there's a girl with giant shopping bags trying to get through. And instead of just, you know, being patient and moving through the crowd slowly, I heard her say, "Oh, won't these people move?" Exactly in that tone, and I was just like, whoa. You know, this obviously isn't your country, so calm down and just, I don't know, it's kind of shocking to see people act so rudely in a country that's not theirs. I mean, I don't like people acting rudely in my own country either, but there's not really anything I can do about that. There's a little store in Roppongi that had like a fish tank in front of it. I think it was Don Quixote was the name of the store. And there was this really big fish in it. Like, really big. Like, I can't even do it on camera, big. But, so anyway, I was trying to take a picture of the big fish, and these two guys like walked past me, and they're like, huh, foreigners. And I mean, they were foreigners themselves, so I was just like, hello, this isn't my first time in Japan, it's just my first time in Tokyo. What's wrong with me taking a picture of a giant fish? Like, what is up with these rude comments? It's ridiculous. I was very happy I got to meet up with my friend from Sister City, whom I hadn't seen in 7 years. We met with her, and she took us to a lot of different places in Tokyo. She had just moved to Tokyo in April, so she doesn't know the area that well either. But it was so great to see her, and she wanted to take us to a maid cafe in Akihabara. A maid cafe in Matsue, but as I've mentioned before, it's really small and not that great of a maid cafe compared to others in Japan. So we went to this one in Akihabara, and we actually had to stand in line to get a seat. And they had all these rules. They give you a sheet of paper with all these rules on it. For example, you could not stay in the cafe for over 60 minutes. You had to pay a seating charge of 700 yen. You had to order at least one drink or food item. You could pay 500 yen to take a picture with one of your favorite maids, but not all of the maids were available to get your picture taken with, because, you know, some of them were just special and you couldn't have pictures of them. So this was much fancier than Matsue's Little Maid Cafe. And, you know, at maid cafes, they put something called moe into your food, which is supposed to be this cute, magical deliciousness that they put in your food. At the Matsue one, they do a little thing for you, and they do it, but at the one in Akihabara that we went to, they had us kind of do it with them, so we, like, had to, like, make a little heart with our hands. We're like, cute! I don't remember it, but it was funny. We ended up going to the maid cafe in Matsue quite a bit, because we kept taking different people with us to see it. And so Mike actually had this card from there that he filled up, and you were supposed to get like a prize by the end of it. So, you know, finally we decided to go an extra couple of times so that he could get whatever this prize was. And it turned out to be really, really lame. They had him choose a sticker to put on the card, and then they took a matching sticker and put it on, like, their name tag. So he got this as his prize at the Matsue Maid Cafe. At the Maid Cafe in Akihabara, they gave us a little card at the end, and here it is. It says, License of Your Majesty, an international official license card. You've got a license of Level 1 My Master. And then they write your name on the back and the date. And I guess you can level up, and I don't know what you get as a result, but hopefully it's better than a sticker. If Mike had decided to go to school in Tokyo for his year abroad, rather than a rural area like Matsue, it would have been a totally different experience. So if you're thinking about coming to live in Japan, that's something you might want to think about, is different areas of Japan are very different. So you might want to decide which area would suit you best.